Hey, Chip.
Okay, chat. We are recording. Folks, this is Karolyn, and she has been doing SSP. We should check this before we started. What hour are you on?
Well, I'm in the second hour, like 37 minutes in.
Only 37 minutes in to the second hour, joining your sister, who is also featured in one of these, in the ranks of people who just like timeline jump really quickly at the beginning of the SSP. You told me a story a few times ago that blew my socks off and made me just so super super inspired and grateful, and I asked you if you'd be willing to talk about it with chat because
Chat,
chat wants to
get
know.
this one.
Yeah, chat, listen up. Okay, for those of you who are not cool like us, we have 13-year-olds, and apparently it hasn't made it to the East Coast, but West Coast 13-year-olds are using this slang, chat, which means people in the chat who can chime in. And I love it because chat, like, please comment, like, subscribe. Okay, chat, let's go. Okay, so tell us this story in
So
whatever detail you want to.
I'm terrible at keeping on track, but here we go.
Yeah, it took us 17 minutes to start focusing on this. That's not bad, actually. 17 minutes. And in the middle of that, there was like maybe a spirit who came and crashed a vase into the toilet.
I think it's because I acknowledged them at the
Mm.
beginning, but I was kidding, whoever you are.
It's okay. I'm not too attached to those crocheted flowers.
Oh, to give you a bit of backstory, I live life with a bear chasing me, like most of us. Um, and I had a child with a man, and um, I think most of our
Sort of
relationship,
a non-traditional approach.
yeah, yes. And most of our breakdown in our relationship was because I was scared constantly, and I made decisions out of fear all the time. And my go-to is shutdown. I don't remember what that one is.
Yeah,
Is
immobilized dorsal.
dorsal. I was going to say it's on your back.
Yeah, there you go.
Shut down.
Medical
And
knowledge.
my shutdown also includes like fully not being able to think,
Yeah, no cognition.
nothing. Um, and I've had 13 years at least of conversations with this person. And I left him when my kid was 5, so, or 4. So it's been a lot of years of not really great conversations.
Mm.
And me just shutting down and placating.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other night, my child wants to change their birth name, and I have split custody with him. So I have to get him to agree. And I ask him, and he goes, I got to think about it, which is what he always does. Calls me back 2 days later, and he starts his ramble, which is another thing he likes to do, where he just talks and talks and talks and talks. He hasn't had a decision. But while he's talking, I'm listening, I'm thinking, God, my head feels weird. It feels weird. My brain feels odd. And I then think to myself, I'm thinking thoughts. It was a weird feeling. It wasn't negative.
Yeah.
It was just a weird feeling. So I just was like, I'm thinking thoughts. When he did stop talking eventually, I then said words back to him, which were just unemotional, normal, like, what are they? Like, no emotion tied to these
Yeah.
things, just
Just like
things I'm like,
statements,
yes,
comments.
yeah. And I was like, and there we go. I get off. He still doesn't know. He's got to do more chat.
Yeah.
He's got to do more
Chat,
research.
send research.
Um, because he's just done online research about non-binary children changing their names, whereas I've spoken to humans who have done name changes, either transgender, non-binary, whatever.
So he's got his process, but you just
Thank you.
like
Thank you.
commented.
I could not believe that I was saying words to him back. Like, okay, well, I just think it would be really great for their mental health and their like them being proud of who they are. And
Wow. So it
that's all
wasn't
I had to
even
say.
just like comments, it was like something that was like not in line. It wasn't placating. Like it was not in opposition, but it was a different opinion. And
Yeah,
it was
well,
your actual opinion.
yes. It was like me just being like, hey, I can say the thoughts that I believe to you, whether or not you care or want to be mean to me about them or do anything. This
Radical.
is how I feel about this. And it's not like you're allowed to think whatever you want. There are ways around this, sir. I can find another way, but I just want to tell you what I think it would do benefit for our child. And it's me. This is what I think. And I loved it.
Oh my gosh. And then then you got off the phone and then what was like happening when you got off the phone?
I think I told like 98 people. I called as many people as I could just because I couldn't believe I had had a conversation with him. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't hard. It wasn't like he was angry or anything.
Right,
So
right, right.
but still, the fact that I thought during the conversation, I was thinking, and then on top of that, I said words. I was like, "This is amazing. Everyone in the world should do SSP."
My website is in the link.
Yeah.
No, chat. Post it. Somebody post my website. Okay, listen, this is so phenomenal. And what I love about it is the level of like astonishment and like new experience because there are so many of us. I don't know if you remember my first interview with Jessa, but my story of my like, what the fuck is going on? What just happened is so similar because it was me walking to into soccer to like the soccer game where I'm always going to see my kid's other parent, right? And I walk up to her and I watch myself go like, "Hi." And I was like,
How am I even moving and existing after that?
I like I just had like I like felt like a human seeing a human like and said like hi like
Yes.
and it was like what just happened like because every other experience has been like um terrified like mouse like seeing a dragon and being like
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
for like at that point it
Years.
had been like 9 years or something, yeah. And I was like, how what like are you kidding me? It was so weird. And what was so weird about it is that like I know this is the case for you too, like we're both people who had done a lot of work on ourselves, like done therapy, like read all the books, like tried to like
Yes.
tried to like tried to be a healthy person. And it's
Whatever
like
you want to do for me, I'll do anything.
right. And then
Uh,
it's like there was something that like it was inside of our body that we couldn't think our way to that like can be changed by listening to this random music. It's very weird.
it's so weird. I don't know how many people I'm like, I have done, like, I'll give you the weirdest therapy I've done.
Right.
It tops that in weirdness. I would say that I will hands down say it's the quickest I've ever felt a change in me. And the fact that I can even notice it in real time is also awesome. Because
Right.
I'm like, just like you, like, what is
Yes.
happening? I'm
Yes.
seeing it happen right now. What's happening? Who is this?
That.
I'm gonna say words right back at you, and I don't feel like I'm gonna die doing it. Like what?
Yeah. Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining that you have a similar experience of feeling this way around certain people, like, since you can remember.
Yeah,
Like, I've,
you're
like you
not
said,
wrong. I will not correct you.
I've had that bear, Like, I thought that everybody had a bear. I thought you just always were going to have a
Everyone
bear.
does have a bear.
Yeah. I think to different, I don't know. I think maybe some, here's what I thought you had to have a bear.
Oh,
It's a better thing. But it turns out there is sometimes the bear goes away, and that's possible. And that's why I think it was so like startling.
I think when I told you, I think the biggest thing for me was when I told you, you like tentatively said this is probably the most important thing that's ever happened to you because, you know, I've got a child.
Yeah.
I have lived my life doing better things and doing things, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I
You've had a whole
whatever.
life.
I've lived my life with experiences, but and I understand why you tentatively said it because you could hurt someone's feelings saying
Yeah.
that. But I 100% agree with you. Like hands down, I get why you said it so tentatively, but hands down, that is the best thing that's ever happened
Yeah.
to me. The fact that I can have a conversation with a person I couldn't even think.
Yeah.
Like my shutdown is literally like you could be talking to me and I literally could fall asleep.
Yeah. It's like nothing.
For years when I was a teenager, I was like, there's gotta be narcolepsy. I
Yeah.
have to have it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to have it.
Yeah.
But
Like
because I
my,
was so neglected,
yeah.
no one cared that I had
And nobody noticed. Yeah. They were like, good, you're being quiet. Yeah. Like as a child, we would go to a restaurant and I would lay down underneath the table and go to sleep.
ditto.
Yeah.
I could sleep anywhere. I've
Yeah.
slept in a guitar center. I've slept in so many places that I shouldn't be sleeping, and not because I'm homeless, but literally just because of my central nervous system.
Yeah. Yeah. And the piece that I love that you point out so well is that literally when we're in that defense state, there is no access to that cognition. And to be able to notice that you're like, wait, I'm in my, like, I'm thinking, like, that's so, just so, like,
In
awesome
real
how,
time.
yeah, it's just,
It's so crazy. I know, chat, that
uh,
you guys won't
yeah.
get it until you get it,
Mhm.
you know, until it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it's one
But
of those things. It's like you don't know until you like before I got top surgery, I was like, how would it feel to not have these huge things of fat on my chest? And then after I'm like, oh my gosh, it is like you can't really know until you know, but it is wild.
yes, it is wild. Do you hear how enthusiastic we are though? Because that is what we're trying to portray.
Yeah.
It would be beneficial for most of humanity to go through something like this.
Yeah.
I've done all the things, you know, where you
Yep.
just like, I'm going to
All of
do
it.
this method of making myself better. This method. I mean, I try and like trick my brain a lot by thinking certain things. Like when I was a teenager, I'd be like, well, I don't live in North Korea.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I used to always say like I'm not a sex worker.
I mean, I feel like honestly, I would be doing better for myself if I was financially,
Well, it's an
emotionally.
option. I really have a lot of respect for sex workers actually. Um, and I think there's people who really enjoy it, but that's a different topic. So our topic for today is that this okay, this is the piece I love about it is that like all those other things are like trying to tell yourself like get better, like do better. And this has such a like it's not your fault. You don't have bad character. Like it's not you, it's your nervous system. It just is a wiring program that's like been set at a certain place due to your childhood and it can be reset.
Even just like you say, but even before that, like this is my
Pregnancy,
epigenetic.
generations.
Yeah, my epigenetics. So like I think that helps me a lot too, where I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I can't continue to blame myself for sucking at doing anything because it could be
It's
any reason.
inherited. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
any reason.
Yeah. And even inherited, like lately, I've been thinking a lot about evolution. Like, it's even just like baked into being humans because the priority for like evolution is survival of the species and reproduction, right? So just on that level, like to be able to confront the person that you're reproducing with is like a no-no on like a DNA level,
Yeah.
right? And so like it's not us. And there's this weird thing that like can help us to not have it be so like stuck and give us like more options. And I want to go to the thing that you said at the beginning, like you're still procrastinating, like you're still you, like
Yeah.
life is still full of all sorts of things. Like the other night I stayed up all night worrying because I got the wrong dog and then like had to say we can't have this dog. We need to have this conversation actually after we record this. But I was having a freak out. I didn't sleep all night and then I felt like shit the whole next day and I was like, all right, like that lines up. You know, like that stuff doesn't go away.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, we had this scheduled an hour before up until yesterday. Today, I still procrastinated. It's the hottest day of the year here. My computer's saying it's 103, and that's not a
Mm.
normal. It's like we're hitting record highs today. So I was very sweaty, but I waited till the last second to hop in that shower to come be presentable. And that's still me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
still very much me.
Yeah.
And it's annoying and I don't like it, but I feel much better about so many other things
Yeah.
that it makes that even a little bit lighter. Like it's just like, yeah, this is how it is. It's fine.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's interesting because I think there is something like very much baked into not just the SSP, but like the work we do in sessions around it that acknowledges like you're not a problem. Like
Hmm.
you're not in trouble, you're not doing bad, like you don't need to be fixed. We just want to give you the understanding that you can be nicer to yourself, that you can like not, expect so much of yourself. Like even with the move, we talked about like, okay, like you didn't pack
Right.
everything in advance. Maybe if you move again in the future, you want to do something differently about that. But it's just information instead of like, I'm such a fucking loser.
Yeah. I also like when you brought up talking to yourself like you would talk to your child. Maybe not my own child, but then I like spin it to someone else's kid who's visiting your home.
I changed it
Like,
recently to a puppy because I feel like that consistently is a good
oh
one.
yeah, but I do call them little dum-dums. Little dum-dums, but they are handsome little dum-dums.
Handsome dum dum.
They're hot, handsome dum-dums. So they're
Oh, I
just
bet they're miserable.
they're sleeping. So
Good
they're
babies.
not here consciously.
Yeah, but talking to yourself kindly.
Yes. Yeah, that I do treat I think I do the same thing to my kid that I do to me, where I have expectations that are ridiculous. But I don't do it to other people's children, or I
Yeah.
manage people, and even just
Hmm.
managing people, I'm always like, you're not a bother. When they're like, I'm so sorry to bother you. Stop saying that. You are not a bother.
Mm.
And that's the type of management I want out there, is that like, hey, I hold space and time for you to be a human as well as
Hmm.
my employee. So that's why I went into it. Side note, but like I do that for other people, and I'm even with just this work, I'm learning to do it better with myself.
Hmm.
I'm not good at it at all because I suck, but like
Let's criticize your inability to stop criticizing yourself. That sounds right on. Oh my God, that's
so I
amazing.
am doing better at
Yeah.
it though. So that's good.
Oh my God. And you're only an hour too. Like, let's just also acknowledge
I
that.
know.
Like, you're
I
not
know.
supposed to, according to the SSP, like, really have much of an impact until after you're done. And I really do think that it's because we spend so much time like talking about like you're not a problem. Like, you're legitimate. Your nervous system is doing its thing. And like, that makes sense. And even to just acknowledge, like, it makes sense to be scared of certain people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
it's
think I'm
like
also
not
okay with
crazy.
going in and out of all of the normal responses. It's not like I want to stop them. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it first before I
Yes.
started this. I was
Yes.
like, I never want to feel. I mean,
Yes.
I'm an alcoholic, so I definitely have tried to not feel for a very long time.
Yeah.
But like now I'm even okay with going in and out of all of the central nervous system responses. Like, oh, that's normal. Oh, I know why I feel really nutso right now.
Yes. That.
Because of this.
That.
And that's okay. That
That.
makes sense.
Yeah. Chat. Write that down.
Chat. You
Um,
guys should be recording this, even though we already are.
you should be
Chat.
taking notes. Do you remember our first session? You were
Not
in
the
a bathroom. Do you remember that?
no.
You were in a bathroom.
Hmm.
I think we listened to 1 minute,
Okay.
maybe even not a full minute. And it was like you did not have a good time. It was a lot.
Hmm.
And I'm really glad that this is actually recording, because I want you to be able to see how you just said, like, I'm okay with having the feelings. I'm okay with going in and out. Because in that first session, you were like, I'm not sure that I'm okay with having any feelings.
Hmm.
And this feels like it's going to give me feelings. And I was like, yeah, it might give you some feelings.
Yeah, chat.
That,
I
yeah.
just don't, I'm very, I cannot stress it enough. I don't understand it because it's just weird music that sometimes makes my eyes go a little crazy.
Facial nerves.
And I mean, it's so bizarre. And I
Yeah.
don't know how, like, I've never done research into it. I'm too busy, honestly. But like, I don't know who figured this out and was like, oh, let's listen to this weird
Stephen Porges.
that guy.
Yep. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, he came up with polyvagal theory, and then I think he was a psychologist. He's not dead. He's a psychologist, I think, by training, but he was like a research guy. And then somehow he came up with that it's like this like mother's coup, like speech sound frequency. And
No.
that's, yeah. And that's what it's like, filtering out everything except for the speech sound frequency of the mother's coo, so it like reorients you to the original like human safety cue. That's what it's doing. So it's like giving you the thing that you would have gotten if you had like a healthy attachment with your birth parent.
Aaron. I had brought that up to my birth parent the other day.
Mm.
I was like, you know what I think about a lot now that I'm doing this SSP is the fact that I was a sleeper and you just let me sleep. You didn't
Mm.
feed me, you didn't pick me
Mhm.
up. You
Mhm.
just let me sleep. I wonder what that did to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're probably right. It probably did mess you up. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
get it. I understand what it's like having postpartum. So like,
Yeah.
not
Totally.
blaming
Like, it
you.
was not her, it was her nervous system. Like,
Yeah, I'm not blaming you. I just
2000%. But like, here we
now
are.
now I'm interested to know what that had did
Yeah.
to me. I wish I could like have, just check out the other multiverse where my mom picked me up, me.
Well, I think maybe we're checking that out now.
Oh yeah, I'm becoming that person. Yeah.
Yes.
Mommy's cool. She little babies.
Yes.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
well, I did like at least one thing right when I had a baby. At least one thing. Because I mess so many things up all the time. But that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Um,
the parenting thing, I think it just really is a crapshoot, and you can't do it right, wrong. I think you just and that's my favorite thing about polyvagal theory is it just boils down to capacity and access to cognition. If you don't have access to cognition, you're just going to be an alligator. Alligators, I don't think coo at their babies.
They don't.
They don't coo at them. So I think we're getting to do this thing where we get to be like, okay, what is that other multiverse like timeline like where we don't feel like we're being like attacked and we're terrified all of the time? And what does that start to feel like? And what does that open up for us? And what is
Oh, it
that?
feels so good.
Yeah.
I'm only in hour two. I'm not even, I honestly think it's like 20. No, I know it's over 30 minutes because I remember going, we're flying through hour two
Yeah.
in comparison to hour one. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we are flying through it, but in comparison, oh
You
my God,
are.
it's, I can't believe that I could, we said we were going to get a jar and then I was given something at work, those little finger cots.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So I bought my jar. I keep forgetting to pick my finger cots up that are
Okay.
sitting on a little desk at in my office to bring home so that every time I have a realization of something that is I am doing differently than before, because it's not like it's just like, wait, who's this person? I'm gonna put a little thing in
Yeah.
the jar. And since we brought that up, I haven't thought of another thing. I'm not like seeing anything new. And I think it's because I'm like looking for it.
Looking too hard. Well, also it's like it can be tricky to notice progress when you're like in the middle of it. So these moments with other people, like with your other parent, like those are the ones that you're like, whoa, that was very timeline jumpy. I'm
Mhm.
super duper just like so grateful for you and your willingness to explore
Oh,
this and talk about it and like give your kid this opportunity to like experience this version of you too.
oh
Like
yeah.
I just think the like ripple effect of this all is so profound and I just love it. Thank you so, so much.
Thank me. You're
Yeah.
nuts. There are so many times where I'm getting off of Zoom with you, and I'm always
Uh-huh.
like, "Can you say I love you?" Because it's life. What you've done for me is life changing in such a good way that, like, yeah, I love you. And
I
so, like,
love
it's
you
weird that I'm like, I
too.
love you. Bye.
You know, I was just telling someone the other day, like, I'm so glad that I'm not trained as a traditional, like, psychologist, because then I wouldn't be allowed to be like, I love you too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be allowed to be having this kinds of
Right?
conversation and be okay feeling
Yeah.
this way with you,
Yeah. I know.
like
It's,
genuine.
I feel like, what are those people doing? Like, they must be feeling really confused and like repressed, but I am not trained as that and I'm doing my own thing here. So I get to just love you as much as I want to. And yeah, it changed my life to be able to I mean, it changed my life to do it for myself, but it's changing my life to be able to be with other people in this experience on
Like
so many
that.
levels and I just I'm like so happy.
I am too. I love that you do this. I love that someone out there has figured this out. I love all this because I literally have tried so many things for
Yeah.
so many years, and this has been the biggest thing that has changed my life. Maybe I'll find something after this that'll be just as big and fun, but like I'll do this nine for the rest of my life. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can or if it works like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's really cool about it is that all the stuff that we like practice alongside of it and talk through like the self-talk and the like being able to do the exercises and the like noticing and then the self-inquiry that we're like building in like what is that about, all of that is the lifetime. And there is a balance playlist which can be listened to afterwards to support integration and it has mild filtration so there are options. And I actually did the SSP twice. Really only like just the very, very special people really need it twice. I was one of those. And so there's like so many options.
Like I wanna need it twice.
Right? I know. I think I wanted to need it twice too, but I legitimately needed it twice. Like I also did this other brain injury therapy that was like vision therapy, like multi-sensory. It was so trippy. I was on a moving table with like flashing lights and this like like
That's
music.
weird.
Yeah, it was super weird. It's called multi-sensory training and it's from like Scandinavia or something. And I had to do that one twice. And she was like, yeah, like nobody needs to do it twice, but you need it twice. I told you, I'm super special.
Oh, it's
Oh my
like your
gosh.
DBT.
Oh,
Like,
and I had to do DBT for 7 years.
so, I mean, I get it. You just love
Oh
it.
my gosh. I was thinking the other day when my other parent was a little irritated with me, I wanted to be like, but do you remember how I used to be? Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing way better.
Like, how are you even irritated anymore?
Aren't
I'm
you
getting mad.
inspired or
Come
something?
on. Oh,
Oh my God.
I
Okay.
can say words to you now.
Yeah,
Isn't that
I'm
cool?
like kind of awesome. Yeah, no, it's not super appreciated, but that's all right. I still feel really proud of myself.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording because I feel like we could talk for 42 years.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Oh, are we
Okay,
still recording?
we're ending. Okay,
Oh, chat.
chat, signing off.
Chat.